testimony that went forth. Give God a hand for being a God that's still opening up doors and being a blessing to his people. I wanted to come to you something a little different. Well, not necessarily a little different, but the title of this study is Beware of Frogs. And you're going to understand as we go what we're talking about. Beware of frogs. I want you to turn to now. Anybody got you got your mics? If you would, you want to be the reader? Okay. Give Sister Kalinda a mic so she can read. But we want to talk about beware of frogs. Turn in your Bible to the book of Exodus, the 8th chapter. Exodus, the 8th chapter. It's all going to come together, believe me. To fully understand what I'm saying to you, you have to really look in the scriptures where frogs appear. And one of the major spots we find in Exodus. But there's only two sections in the Bible that really mentions frog primarily. And that's Exodus and that's Revelation. And we're going to come to both. But in Exodus 8, we find out that during the second plague of Egypt, that there was frogs mentioned. Exodus 8 and 1. Let's go there right quick. Get it? Go ahead and read. Her mic.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus said the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if thou refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite all thy borders with frogs.
So if you don't let them go, I'm going to send all my frogs to your borders. All right, go ahead, read.
And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house.
Now, notice, let's slow it down. These frogs are going to go up. Everybody said go up.
Go up.
So it's coming from where? The river. It's going to go up, and it's going to go into your house. Go ahead.
And come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber.
And to your bedroom. Go ahead.
And upon thy bed.
And even on top of your bed. Go ahead.
And into the house of thy servants.
Now, so we see here that this warning was to Pharaoh. And Moses was telling Pharaoh, he said, I'm going to send these frogs. If you don't let them go, these frogs are going to go in your house. They're going to go in your bedroom. They're going to even in your ovens, and even in your kneeling bowls. In other words, the places where you have food stored, the frogs going to go there too. Are y'all with me? I want y'all to really catch this. Turn to Revelation 16 and 13. While you turn it, I want y'all to listen. So these frogs purpose to invade every intimate part of your life. Are y'all getting this right? They're going to be everywhere in your life. That's what the warning was to Pharaoh, that if he didn't let them go. Now, in the book of Revelation, there's a connection there. Read 16 and 13. Revelation 16 and 13.
And I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet.
So we have a dragon, we have a beast, and we have a false prophet. The false prophet is actually the second beast. And what it says that they're going to be a frog-like spirit. What do you mean by frog-like spirit? What's the connection there with this frog-like spirit? I want y'all to understand something here. Just like your home today, a lot of us have technology that has invaded our homes. We have it in our kitchen, our bathroom, our bedroom. We carry it into y'all got to get it. Y'all got to get it. Listen, these frogs invaded Pharaoh, right? It invaded the children of Egypt, right? Is these frog-like spirits, so it's different today. But there's a purpose behind it coming out the mouths of the dragon, the false prophet, and the beast. Yeah, y'all getting this, right? So, let's break this down a little bit. One of the characteristics of a frog is loud. Y'all, I know y'all been outside before. You'll hear one, then after you hear one, you'll start hearing another, and then they'll start coming. They'll start croaking, right? Y'all from the country. So what is that saying today? What it's saying today is that out of the mouth of the false prophet, the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet, which is the second beast, it's going to be spirits that are going to speak to human beings and convince them to war against God. Now, I want y'all to understand, it's not so much as you hear a voice, but you're going to internally, you know how somebody will put a thought in your mind? They're going to have such a convincing, deceptive, repeative. You know how when somebody says something and somebody else comes to confirm? That's the frogs. To convince. Now, let's look at here. Let's look here. Let's kind of take this 1 King 22 and 20. 1 King 22 and 20. Let's kind of set the stage a little bit, because I'm getting ready to go into a little more detail for you to really understand what's going on. There are moving parts that are coming together, puzzles that are coming together in our day and time. And the Bible says this: if it was possible, they'll deceive the even very elect. If it was possible. And I'm telling you right now, we are at that time. Y'all just don't, I'm telling you, when I'm going to expose some things, but we are at that time. Now, what do 1 Kings 22 and 22, what do it say? This is a familiar passage. 22 and 22, 22 and, I'm sorry, 22 and 20. This is a very familiar passage. Ahab was the king. And God has purpose to take him out in battle. But here's the thing about God. God won't trump your will. Do that make sense? He will not trump your will. In other words, if you will to do a thing, he's not going to force you to do something else. That's the reason why we have a free will. So, as I said before, God has a lot of tools in his toolbox to persuade us, as he did Jonah. He caused the wind. He caused all these things to take place. He even caused a great fish to get him before he could make up his mind. I'm going to do what God told me to do because it's just too much for me not doing it. But God didn't force him. God just used his tools to convince him. Now, when you get to a point with God where you don't want to do right, you don't want to live right, God is saying, you know what? You're subject to a spirit or a fallen spirit tricking you or trapping you. You see what I'm getting at? Let's see. What does it read?
And the Lord said,
who
shall persuade Ahab?
Who's going to get him? Listen, God had a council. God said, who's going to persuade this man? His last day is going to be on the battlefield. But I need somebody to convince him to go to the battlefield. He didn't force him to go. He had to go there on his own will. He just had to be convinced to go. Go ahead, read.
That he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead. And one said on this matter, and another said on that matter.
So they was counseling. One said this, another said this. Go ahead.
And there came forth a spirit.
A spirit came.
And stood before the Lord. And said, I will persuade him.
I will persuade him. Hold a minute. A spirit came before God and said, I'll persuade him. What was the next conversation read? What it said?
And the Lord said unto him, wherewith?
How you going to do it? Go ahead.
And he said, I will go forth and I will be a lion spirit in the mouth of all his prophets.
Hold a minute. Now you understand what I mean by a frog-like spirit. These spirits will convince a person to go against what God wants them to do. But it'll use a technique that when what do you call it when they when they speak, when they ribbit, when they do the ribbit, when one do it, then you got another one, then you got another one, then you got another one. You see how the false prophets was? I'm going to be a lion spirit in the false prophet's mouth. So they begin to ribbit, begin to ribbit, begin to ribbit, begin to ribbit. All of them are saying the same thing. Why? To convince the king you can go and defeat Ram-Gilead or whatever that was. Go ahead, read. Go ahead. Go ahead. What you got to say? These are techniques that he does to us now. I'm sorry. He had his hand up first, then didn't you? Give him the mic. You got a mic? Here you go. You got this.
When I reread this, and I'm actually reading it, I can see how I've been misinterpreted this before. It was told to me that the Lord put
Mm-mm.
But the lying spirit was just a lying spirit.
Exactly.
They try to make it seem like the Lord will put a lying spirit in the mouth of somebody. That's how people tell that story all the time.
Yeah, remember the Bible said when the sons of God came together and Satan was present also.
Mm-hmm. And I just see simply God just calling for Ahab to reap what he sowed.
Judgment
Yeah,
upon Ahab.
It's just time to reap.
But
what he
he's
sowed.
not going to force Ahab to go to the battle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the Spirit convinced him that he would win the battle. And other frogs begin to agree with it. I'm trying to show y'all how a lot of times we get caught up because we believe in a frog spirit. Go ahead, frog-like spirit. Give him the mic.
I was just about to add on that that is so true. It's because like right now in our time right now we got social media, and you hear so many people get out here and teach certain doctrine. You hear it from one person. Once you hear it from there, it's just like you hear it everywhere else from now on. And that's how a lot of us get deceived because, for one, a lot of us don't read and we don't understand what we read it. And then you hear you hear this one prophet say, "Oh, it got to be true." And then you hear another prophet, and now it's just planted in your mind that this got to be true. And when you're not reading, you are already deceived.
So listen, I'm telling y'all, I'm warning y'all because this is happening now. Things are lining up now. And if you don't have a love for God, you will be deceived. Go ahead.
A quick note to add. When I was teaching Sunday school, I was telling them about the testimony with the lady that had the husband, and she was on fire for the Lord, but her husband wasn't. And so she would just pray for her husband, like, Lord, you make him do right, or you do this, and you make him do this, and you make him do that. And she basically was saying, like, God basically told her, like, that's his free will, that's his choice to do the things that he is doing. He can only do, like, persuade him to do stuff like you were saying, but he can't change.
He can't trump his will.
He can't trump his will because he would go against his word.
Exactly.
And it would be kind of like witchcraft because I'm making this person do this.
Yes.
And so when she said that, it just made sense because I'm just like, dang, he's not going to go over what he's saying in his word. So he's just going to stand firm on his word. We can pray that God help them or God lead them to somebody that can help them because everybody's sound is different. Like if I'm telling Reginetta something, she may not hear it from me, but if somebody from Ohio tell her, she'll understand it clearly. So you can pray that God send a certain person that alerts them or something like that, but that was interesting to me too.
So with a person like that, what you just described, a person that really truly don't love God, because listen, y'all got to be listening because this thing is on the horizon. If you really don't love God, there is a danger. There's a danger. Turn to Romans 1. Let's start at 27. Romans 1 and 27. Let's take a look at this. Romans 1 and 27. When a person don't love God, they're subject to fall for these spirits. They're subject to listen to what they're saying. They're subject to be misled and misguided even into the worship of the Antichrist. It's just that. I'm telling you, it's more closer than y'all think. Woo. All right. What is that?
And likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one toward another.
Go on up. Go on one verse up. One verse up from there.
Okay. For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affection.
Hold a minute. For what cause? Because they didn't choose to love God. Because they didn't choose to serve God. Because they didn't choose to take the warnings. So God said, you know what? I'm going to give up on them. I'm going to give up on them. I'm going to give them up. That's what give up on them is. I'm going to give them up. See, a lot of people don't know that. But there comes a point where God said, you know, enough is enough. Just like Ahab. God came to a point with Ahab. He had done so much wickedness. God said, enough is enough. Do you know that the land of Canaan was occupied? It was occupied. And God told the children of Israel, God was letting them know that, listen, he said, I can't give them the land because their sin hadn't reached that point. But when the sins reached to a certain point, it was too late. So y'all go in there and take the land. The children of Israel, they wouldn't let the land rest for 7 years. So you know what God said? You know what? After every 7th year, they're supposed to let it rest. And then 400-some years down the line, God said, you know what? I'm going to let it rest. I'm going to just take y'all into bondage. At some point, God would have said, enough is enough. Go ahead. Give it the mic.
It's almost like I was explaining like what a relationship is, just kind of like husband and wife. It's the same thing except it's a spiritual relationship. So God is still there. So when you don't talk to him or don't communicate, you know, he's not there. I mean, you know, when you don't communicate.
You just don't see him, but he's there.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is if you're not talking, if you're not communicating with him like he's your husband or a relationship, then it's liable to not work, just like a physical relationship. Like comparing it to me and my husband, if I only talk to my husband one time a week,
you ain't going to know him.
Do you think that relationship is actually going to last?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just kind of how I think about it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. Read on. What does it say? Because apparently
for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So we know what's going on there. That taking your body from a woman, from the use of a woman to a man, and now you're not useful to a man no more because now you're after a woman. And now both women are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Are y'all hearing me? Read on. What does it say?
And likewise, also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one toward another, men with men.
Men with men.
Working that which is unseemly.
And that is going on so in our day and time. But when God said enough is enough, enough is enough. Read what he said.
And receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge.
Oh, y'all see that? See, at the point before, they didn't want to have nothing to do with God. And God said, since you don't want to have nothing to do with me, you know what? I got something for you. Read on.
God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient.
In other words, now they have a mental problem. And literally, they have a mental problem. They have a mental problem, and now they don't even know what truth or error is any longer. Go ahead. Now, I'm just reading the scripture. What the Word of God said. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a friend. Well, she used to someone I went to school with in 8th grade, and she made a post, and she was just like, I like girls.
What color? What number, Mike? What number is that? 3.
She said, she's a girl. She said, I like girls. I'll always like girls, and I will always be with a girl. And that's what popped up in my head as soon as you said that. And these people would say that they follow God, they believe in God, but God said in the Old Testament, He said explicitly in the New Testament, like He's telling you, like it's an abomination, and you won't make it into heaven.
Yeah.
It's like, do you think that He's playing with you?
It's not that they think. It's just that when you don't love God, that frog-like spirit, it'll convince you. And you would think that you okay. It'll have you so convinced that I'm still okay with God in my situation. Give her a mic. Oh, you got it.
Just tag on what you're saying and what there. I mean, I know somebody, but they're in feminine ways. They have feminine ways, and they like what they like, but they really believe that they love Jesus too.
That's what I'm saying.
So the frog-like spirit has convinced them in
Yes.
their mind that it's okay
Yes.
to be feminine,
Yes.
to like what you like,
Yes.
and to think that you're okay because you still
That's-
you say you love God.
That's where we at.
That's what we at.
Give her a mic. Oh, you got a mic. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was just gonna add to that, basically saying that the church made it a frog-like spirit. It's the false prophets that's coming from the pulpit saying that it's okay. Jamal Bryant and those of that got the big churches. From personal experience, I went to a church in Atlanta. I'm gonna make this real quick. I went to a church in Atlanta, and they was all in the praise team. They was all in the choir. They was the ushers. They was the offering bearers. They ruled the church. So they was convinced that it was okay. They was speaking in tongues. That's why if you don't have the Holy Ghost, they can convince you, oh, I'm saved and I'm loving the same sex, but it's all the frog-like spirit because. And I just thought about it coming out the prophet, because now more than ever, the preachers are entertaining it and agreeing with it, and basically telling people like us that we're being judgmental when we standing on the truth because they're walking cricket. So I just want to say I can see how that in this particular area is the frog-like spirit.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the same things. It's just like, is it like a man that's convinced and say that he's a woman, so God gave him up to that.
Yeah.
To that reprobate mind.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell them any differently.
If a person,
he said he's a woman.
If a person stay in it long enough, past God's marker that He's given them, He'll turn them over. Yes, it's always a grace thing, but God has a time limit. That's why I was saying with Ahab, God had a time limit. That's the reason with this right here. God said, I've got a time limit. I'm going to turn you over if you continue to do that because you don't love me. Although they say they love him, like you stated, although they say I love him, although I say I know the man, but their heart is far from him. Okay, you didn't. Yeah.
And I believe what they have for God is a brotherly love. I don't think they have that agape love, that I'm willing to sacrifice me and my desires. Like, I love God as far as I think He's cool. I think like how I could come in and greet everybody, but that don't mean I'll do something for you. That don't mean I'll sacrifice my desires for you. Like, if you're not willing to, like, it's so many things about us, the way that we are, that if we don't take that off, we can't love God properly.
Well, the problem is this right here. We're living in this world where our minds and even our bodies can be infiltrated by fallen spirits. We're living in this world where our thoughts could not be our thoughts, but we're thinking it's our thoughts. But the thoughts were planted in our minds by a fallen spirit. So with that said, some people are genuinely thinking that they desire that, but that desire is not coming from them. It's coming from a spirit. Understand, fallen spirits have his own personality along with it. It's just like a person, but it's disembodied. So when the spirit comes into the person, it's going to be a person in that person. And it's going to have its own personality of the person. That's the reason why Beyonce says Sasha Fierce. Sasha Fierce is the one that's dancing. Because the spirit is taking over her body, and she's just allowing the spirit to function in her body.
So I was just getting ready to say, so the spirit actually does what kind of spirit it is. Like the lion spirit.
It does what it is.
So it has that characteristic of whatever
its
called.
Personality is.
So just like when we were talking about that spirit that convinced Ahab, the Bible said it was a lion spirit. Yeah. So it lied.
It went into the mouth of the prophet. It went into the mouth of the prophet. So they heard the spirit. They heard it tell them, and it come out their mouth.
So when you see people that have a bunch of cursing, that's the type of spirit that
you're dealing with. Y'all look at that, be crazy. Go ahead.
Recently, God has been telling me, like, spirits, they have to enter you. Like, you have to invite a spirit in.
Yeah.
And, like, it's like doors.
Yeah.
Like, you have to. Like,
you have to give it permission.
Like like the movie Sinners. Like how they would come straight to the door and they'll stop.
I didn't watch it.
This was the scene. This was the scene. This was the scene in Sinners. The demon, the people that were infected, would come to the door and they'll be like, "Can I come in?" And they'll be like, "Yeah," and they'll come in and they'll kill somebody. But and then when they started catching on, they'll be like, "Can I come in?" And they'll be like, "Can I?" And they'll be like, "We know what you are." Mm-hmm. Because he's asking for permission. You had to give the demon permission at some point.
Go ahead.
I was just getting ready to say, with spirits, you don't necessarily have to give it permission. You just give it a door.
Yeah. You don't have to say you can.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But you are saying when you leave that door open or when you leave that crack or whatever.
Through your actions.
Through your actions. That's how it comes in. It don't necessarily going to ask for permission. It's going to see a way, and it's just going to invite itself
I can go and get some sage and put it in my house and light the thing. Now, I done opened the door. I done gave it permission. Yeah. Go ahead.
So like, for example, when I was like 12 years old, that's when my friends were coming to me like, "Hey, let's look at this website." And I looked, and that was the first time I saw it. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And that's when it opened the door.
Yeah, that's what happened.
On Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened.
That's how it happened. Yeah, and the devil knows that too. Okay, all right. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I want to kind of revisit back when you was talking about the lion spirit. And we was talking about the Lord gave it, but on that verse 23, I just kind of want you to expound on that. But in verse 23, it was talking about the Lord sent out that lion spirit.
He allowed it to go. He allowed it. He allowed it because he asked it, "What are you going to say?" He said that I'm going to be a lying spirit in the mouth of the prophets. So he allowed it to go. It was a great idea. He allowed it to go. God didn't put a lying spirit because the Bible said that God do not tempt man with evil.
That's why I was saying it kind of confused. If you go down to verse 23, it was saying that the Lord put
read verse 23.
I'm trying to go back where we was. That's what I was looking for before I even asked the question. When it first came 20-something and 23?
23.
Yeah, what did
Now therefore, behold, the Lord had put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord, 24, I don't have 24 on here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I
So-
just wanted to
so
kinda clear
that's
that
what I'm
up, 'cause I
saying.
know people read like,
That's
wait a
what I'm
minute.
saying. He allowed it.
Okay.
See, God allowed it to take place. He didn't do it. Remember, it was the lying spirit said, I'm going to do it. So God didn't do it. God allowed it. And when he allowed it, he allowed it. And God charged him for what he's done. You know what I'm talking about? It's, in other words, he gave the lying spirit permission because God wasn't the lying spirit. Yeah. Yeah. But hold a minute. So here's the thing. Let's just take it very simple. Let's say that I have a company, right? I'm the CEO of the company. All right? And you are the supervisor, main supervisor of the company. All right? And I want to market a product. And you tell me, hey, I know how to market this product. So I say, okay, go ahead and market it. So I will be the ultimate one responsible for you marketing the product. I didn't put it out there. I didn't market it, but I was the one responsible. That's why I said that the Lord done it, because he permitted it. It wasn't that he went out and done it. You still getting that? It was the supervisor that went out and done it. It was the evil spirit that went out and done it. He put the lie in the mouth. God, and this is what the Bible says, he will not tempt you with evil. Okay, go ahead. Give me a mic.
When we was talking about like different spirits, like far as permission, is this like, a person that may be going through a storm or a situation and they are very low and they kind of tug on depression? So are you saying because they're tugging on depression, they're giving that spirit allowance to be able to come in?
No, you got it wrong. They're
Okay.
not tugging on depression. Depression is tugging on them.
Oh, okay.
Because depression see an opportunity to go from oppression to possession. You see what I'm getting at? So it's what you allow to come into your mind. See, the thought is generated by the fallen spirit. It's how you react to the thought. That's why he says, cast down every thought and imagination that exalted itself against the word of God. See what I'm getting at? So that's why you got to take that thought, that sadness. You ain't no good. Nobody love you. Nobody wants you. You always reject. You got to take that thought and you got to cast it out because you got to put the word of God on it. Jesus said, I'll never leave you or forsake you. He said he loves me. He said I'm his friend. You see what I'm getting at? So when you start applying the word, that depression can't tug on you.
So it's like demons seek opportunities
Yes.
like that, and
Yes.
then they try to cling to you.
Yes,
That
that's
makes
why
sense.
he
Okay.
said that when an unclean spirit goes out of man to walk in dry places, seek rest and find none. But then he said, I go back to my house from whence I came from. So now he's going back to the house to look for an opportunity to get back in. Go ahead.
And that's kind of what God uses those, like even with Job, and I see the parallels in this, and I see the differences. Like he, with the unclean spirit with King Ahab, he just simply like who wants to try Ahab, and of course all the demons are me. He's like unclean spirit, lion spirit. But the difference between Job, the same way Satan was like, let me get Job. Or God was like, try Job.
Yeah, he didn't say let me.
Yeah.
He
He
said,
said, try
have you
Job.
chose?
The difference was Job had a hedge of protection on him,
Yeah,
and
But-
Ahab didn't
but-
have no protection.
but the protection came from his life. See, that's what people got to understand. The armor of God is our life, and our life is our protection. And when you don't have that protection, then you leave yourself wide open. Okay. Minister Oliver.
Yeah, I want to say on the frog spirits. See, the thing is, we also got to realize too, based on what you were saying, the thoughts of, nobody loves me and blah blah blah, and I'm always rejected. When you like that and you don't love yourself, you attract those too. You attract those spirits to you. You're not gonna attract somebody that's gonna try to,
No, because the frogs are
exactly.
are,
They're trying to confirm what
exactly.
you believe. You know what I'm saying?
So they keep,
Well, you can, yeah.
you have
So
other
it's-
ones that said things to you. You might be walking down the street and somebody said, "Man, you ain't no good." You're like,
Right. You are, but in your heart, you already believed it in a way.
yeah,
You already-
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
They confirm what you said, what
Exactly,
they said
right.
in your mind. Okay, go ahead. You need a mic. Go ahead. Go ahead while you're locating the mic. Get a mic back there, Alonzo.
Okay, so just based on what Zoe was saying about the hedge of protection, I was just gonna say that I remember this girl that was in witchcraft. Her whole family was in witchcraft, and they was trying to cast a spell on me, and they said that it was like a ring of fire, and they couldn't get through it. But that was the hedge of protection.
Yeah.
And then to tag on.
All right. So
Oh,
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I remember this is something about Bishop. So I remember when I was younger, I dealt with low self-esteem and all that kind of stuff. And so I remember saying, I'm so ugly. And Bishop's response was not like any ordinary father. His response was, well, whatever some man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So he stand tall on what he's teaching y'all, okay?
go ahead, Kira.
Oh, well, I was just about to just add on to what Brother Mario, Minister Mario, what he was saying as far as, like, a lot of times when, it's just like me, for my example, I used to always, my wife is my witness, I used to always diagnose myself with this summer cold, like a crazy bat that I am. I used to sit up there, we had preached a message, and you was just like, you get to a point where you start feeling a little sniffles and everything like that, and then you get to go on Google and you want to be a doctor to yourself, and you start diagnosing yourself. Well, let's just say, long story short, I stopped doing that a long time ago because every time I said that I had a summer cold, guess what? I had a summer cold.
That's right.
But then it just comes to just back to this message is what you're preaching about the frogs. If I sit up there and constantly tell myself I'm gonna have a summer cold, well, I just broadcast it out to the enemy. Hey, I want to be sick.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm just giving you an invitation to be like, hey, just bring your sickness on and bring everything else you got with you too, and let's just bring it on. And then they say, like, it's just like when he said he come back to my house and he bring other spirits, other unclean spirits. Okay, well, you want to be sick? Well, now since you're sick, I'm going to bring on depression. Well, now I'm going to bring on anxiety. I'm going to bring on everything else. I'm going to pile it on just because you open that door. And sometimes all we got to do is sometimes we should just be careful with what we say.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the key. That's the key. Go ahead.
I saw something earlier, and it was talking about some things that we should just keep private, and then keep private to ourselves, and just keep private between us and God, and that you just supposed to take directly to God instead of just speaking it onto your life, like things of that nature, like sickness, things like future plans, things like insecurities, deep rooted. Like,
Because you have spirits that are lurking,
exactly,
trying to get advantage,
exactly,
or trying to stop your plans.
And sometimes those spirits will be in people that we tell it to.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not the person, but it's that spirit.
Yeah,
that's like
trying to put
tell
the fire
him,
out.
Yeah, tell him this, and this because of what we went through.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And then another thing about that, sometimes when you're going through a trial and having that grace and protection, me and James were talking about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. and how they went in the fire, but the fire didn't consume them. And that fire could have easily consumed them if they didn't have that grace of God on them. They didn't have God with them. So it's so important to keep God with you when you go through different various trials in life, because he'll be with you and he'll preserve you at the end of the day. Every time, day on the lines, then. It's just over and over again, over and over again. He always preserves the ones that would do his will.
Go ahead.
And I always tell people, when you can invite a spirit in. It's just like people, when you invite them in the house, they stay there. It's going to be hard for them to just get up and leave if you want them to leave. And that's what a spirit does. When you invite that spirit in, it's not going to want to go. That's why it got to be casted out.
Some put up a fight.
Some put up a fight
to leave
because they had it so good. And that's the thing about it. When you was talking about, casting that imagination down. Or it was explained to me one day, what this preacher was talking about, like those generational curses. It's just like those demons just whooping around you until the opportunity comes.
Yeah.
And then when that opportunity, somebody might say, hey, man, smoke this. Hey, man, try that. And once you tried it, and that's what I tell you, once you try something, you invite it in. And once it's in, then it's going to be
it's hard
to
deal with.
To get out of it.
That's right. So now we were comparing these frogs to the Exodus frogs. And there's something else that happened to the Exodus frogs in Exodus 8 and 13. And then we're going to try to wrap this thing on up because I want y'all to really kind of get the full picture of what God is saying. Exodus 8 and 13, what do it say?
And the Lord did according to the word of Moses. And the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps.
Heaps of them.
And the land stank.
And the land stank. Why? Because these frogs were dead. And this is a comparison to the last days, because the order of the whole thing is the frogs come out, I believe, on the sixth bowl. That's when the three frogs come out on the sixth bowl. And on the sixth bowl, it'll be after the mark, after all that has taken place, the Antichrist is on the scene, the mark is on the scene, then you have those frogs that'll go out, because you're going to have destruction that's taking place. It's going to be dark and different things happening. So now those frogs are going to be sent out to establish, to get back order of all the boils and everything that's taking place to the people that are left here. All right. Now, so what I'm saying is the stink part of it is the people that's going to perish. That's the similarity to it. Because the land, these people are going to perish upon this land. All right, now, the reason why I said everything is moving at a rapid pace. And when I cannot stress this to y'all, and I'm not going to reveal to y'all all that I know. But what I do know is moving at a very rapid pace. Now, I'm going to share this with y'all. Back in, let's see. Back in 1950, the CIA had a program called the Mockingbird. Are y'all listening? They had a program called the Mockingbird. Yeah. And what it does is it was influencing domestic media. Are y'all hearing me? So what its job was to repeat a narrative across the stations. That's what that's what that's what the program was called, Mockingbird. Oh, that was on the Incredible? Well, it's true. It's true. Mocking. All right. So what I'm trying to get y'all to see is right now, today, you have Warner Brothers being for sale. And you have the media stations shuffling around. So you have Warner Brothers, Discovery, WBD, and CNN now up for sale by and then you got Premont and Sundance, all controlled by the Ellison's family. So they brought the CNN, the Warner Brothers, Discovery, the Outcome. So you have for Warner Brothers and $10 billion. Discovery, WBD, what does that say? And CNN. It's going to be media control. So it's when I said these frog-like spirits, what they want to push their agenda to the media, they're going to be able to push it. In the little man's voice like mine, it's going to be hard to hear because I don't have a microphone like the media. Y'all see what I'm getting at? So everything is setting up right now to push the agenda of the Antichrist. Right before your eyes. I'll go with you, then you.
I was just getting ready to say that, going through this whole lesson, it just kind of took me back to when I was teaching a few months ago. And I don't know if you all remember, and I told y'all about the dreams I had. And one dream in particular was about the woman that was standing in front of the church with the frogs. Remember,
I don't remember that.
I told that testimony when I was teaching a few months ago, and I had a dream about the frogs. And within that same span, I had like 4 dreams. And the dreams was dealing with frogs and snakes. And I was telling y'all what the Lord was saying about the spirit of deception. Do anybody remember that? So I just wanted to kind of remind you, and I understand now what God is saying, because this spirit is so strong.
It will fool the very elect. And I'm telling you right now, what God showed me, I was like, wow. It was like missing a bullet. It was like, man, that almost got me. And that's the reason why I'm telling y'all that the days are approaching so fast. And like I said, when God showed me all them puzzles, all them pieces start coming together, all I can say is right around the corner. I can stand bold and say it's closer than you ever imagined. Go ahead.
And a lot of people with media don't understand. They think like Fox, CNN, this is just like one big building, and this is where they do their media or whatever. Like my sister, she did an internship with Fox at one point, and we both just happened to be in Los Angeles at the same time. I was out being a nomad, and she was doing some work, and we just happened to cross paths at the same time. Like we didn't do it on purpose. And she was like, "Come pick me up from work. I see you in LA." So I went and picked her up, and it was like the biggest gates ever. I just knew I was just somewhere demonic. And I'm like, why are you here? And I picked her up, and I dropped her off at her apartment, and I looked across the street, and it was like a tent, and it was an Illuminati symbol on the tent. Like, homeless live out there, like outside. Like, they have houses outside. Like, it's insane. Like, encampments. And they had the biggest encampment on Hollywood Boulevard, because she was living on Hollywood Boulevard. It was a triangle, and with the eye on the inside, and it said, Jesus is Satan, in the biggest words possible. And I looked at her, and I looked at that. I said, I'm out of here. And I left. And that just taught me a lot about, for one, the media, because a lot of the media is coming from this place, from this one road, Hollywood Boulevard. Like, that's where the media companies are. And I looked around, and all I saw it was just a bunch of advertisement, and everything was a scam.
Well, this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, why do you think nobody's really getting charged? Because they're not getting charged. Like you said, they're not getting charged because they're in charge.
Also with the media, it's not just, they don't just own that building. They own all the little, like, if a little production company, it might be located in Mississippi, owned by Fox. The local TV stations owned by Fox. Mm-hmm. It's a video of, like, when certain issues happen, the reporter says, like, the same paragraph, and they'll just play over. It'll be like 100 different stations saying the same thing.
But I encourage you, I encourage all of you, because I'm not going to say it, because if I say it, they liable to not air this. So I encourage each of you to find out who owns all the stations. Find out for yourself. Go ahead.
I was going to ask
their nationality.
The frog, the lion spirit, the frog spirit, it enters in when a person sin in their life. Is it the sin?
No, I wasn't saying that. No.
No, okay.
I wasn't saying that. I was saying that when you don't have a heart for God, you leave yourself wide open.
Okay.
You're not covered. You're not covered. You're not covered by the blood because you're not living. You don't have your armor on. See, each one of those body parts protected the body in some form or fashion. The breastplate protects your heart. The helmet of salvation protects your mind. See, when a person is not appreciated or does not appreciate God stepping in and saving them and start living however they want to live. See, when you talk about the helmet of salvation, you're talking about just being thankful for being saved. That covers you. That causes you not to do this or do that because I'm saved. God saved me. God changed me. So why should I touch this? God changed me. So why should I go back to alcohol or go back to drugs or go back to this? God changed me. God saved me. That's the helmet of salvation. Breastplate of righteousness, your heart. Where your heart is. Belt of truth. It's keeping everything together because you're true. You're being honest and truthful. You see what I'm getting at? So it's a life. It's a lifestyle. Feet shone with the preparation of the gospel. You walking in it. You walking in this life out. So when you're doing that, the devil, just as what she says, the witches, the warlocks, and everything else cannot touch you. Because you're walking in God's truth, not your truth. Good. So all I'm saying is today is get your houses together. Get your houses together. because you don't need to be the one that's deceived, because the devil will try you. He will tempt you. He will try to convince your mind one of this or that, and he'll try to confuse you when it comes down to the scriptures. And if you take that bait, you'll be messed up. Come on. All right. Any more comments or questions? There's no more comments.